The mother of Tonia Hamilton MacDonald, Beachy Stout's deceased wife, this afternoon revealed that her family was never invited to her daughter's wedding to the Portland businessman. The mother, who broke down as she recalled her deceased daughter's relationship with Mr. MacDonald, said she learnt of her daughter's union after Tonia came home with a ring informing her that she got married. The mother, who was unable to say when the couple's relationship began, told the court that they kept it a secret before the wedding. Soon after she saw the ring, she welcomed her son-in-law into her nuclear family. Detailing her relationship with Mr. MacDonald, she explained that the couple would visit her home in Dover District, St. Mary, while returning from Kingston, where they purchased goods for the establishment in Portland. She said at that time she would prepare dinner for them. She told the court that occasionally she, along with Tonia's 3 sisters and her husband, who was killed on November 15, 2018, would visit the couple's home for dinner. Recalling numerous conversations between her and Mr. MacDonald during examination in chief, marshaled by the prosecution, the mother said Mr. MacDonald was always complaining about Tonia cheating on him. Replying to whether her daughter returned home during the marriage, she said her daughter was running away from her husband. She explained that Tonia would oftentimes return home with her suitcase packed with clothing. But before the day would end, Mr. MacDonald would arrive at her house pleading with Tonia to return home. However, she said the longest her daughter had stayed after she returned home in June 2020 was 3 days and 3 nights. At that point, it was Mr. MacDonald who came to her house at midnight. She said she was laying in the same bed with her daughter when Mr. MacDonald called via cellular phone asking Tonia if he could come. She said she was so upset she remained in the bed when he arrived. She said when things were good between the couple, she didn't hear from Mr. MacDonald. And the mother, who broke down a second time when asked by the prosecution about her husband, told the court that they were traveling together when he was shot and killed. Early in the trial, the prosecution's main witness testified that Mr. MacDonald told him that he orchestrated Tonia's father's murder. Admitting to the prosecution that she had a relationship with her son-in-law, the mother of 4 said after she was shot, she spent 2 weeks at his house recuperating. During that time, they spoke while having breakfast. The mother told the court that it was one of her friends who informed her of Tonia's death. She testified that she had not seen Mr. MacDonald since the murder until today.
The prosecution's second witness in the Everton Beachy Stout MacDonald murder trial, Denville and Bubbla Minute, has testified that he lied in his initial statements to the police because he was covering for the businessman and he did not trust the police. He made the admission during re-examination by the Crown on Wednesday. Minute has faced 3 days of relentless questioning by the defense team, who accused him of being a notorious criminal who lies habitually. But when asked by the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions why he had told so many lies in his statements, the witness appeared overcome with emotion as he told the court he did not trust the police and was uncertain what would happen to him. Bubbla further testified that in his initial encounters with officers from the Major Investigations Division, MID, he was picking up for someone in the case. When asked who he was picking up for, the witness answered Mr. MacDonald. The answer elicited a strong objection from defense attorney Christopher Townsend. Townsend argued that the answer amounted to new evidence. He was overruled. The 7-member jury broke into whispers among themselves. Bubbla said he attempted to pick up for Beachy Stout because the businessman told him he was going to prison and he should stay calm. Again, Townsend objected. He was again overruled. He would object at least 3 other times during the re-examination. All the objections were overruled. Bubbla further testified that he was also afraid because he knew of the existence of phone recordings of conversations between himself and Beachy Stout. The witness told the court that before he and Oscar Barnes allegedly took Tonia Hamilton McDonald and murdered her in Sherwood Forest, Portland, he had intended to kill her in her car and set her car ablaze in the driveway. To this, the judge asked, "Though you were aware that on each occasion you went there were occupants in the house?" To this, Bubbla responded, "Yes, Your Honor." Minute has been released from the witness stand. The trial continues at 2 o'clock Wednesday afternoon.
The prosecution's fourth witness in the Everton Beachy Stout McDonald murder trial testified this afternoon that the Portland businessman hired him to douse his wife Tonia with acid in 2019.
The witness, who testified that he was convicted of misprision of felony and receiving stolen property in 2023, said he spoke with Mr. McDonald on 3 occasions, detailing his interactions and the aborted attempt to douse Tonia with acid. The witness said he was introduced to Mr. McDonald in a car park beside the Portland businessman's supermarket in 2019. Noting that they spoke for about 10 minutes face to face, he said Mr. McDonald complained that his wife was giving him trouble, explaining that she not come home most nights. The witness said at that point, Mr. McDonald told him that he wanted to get some black acid to dismantle her before giving him $50,000. The man explained to the court that Mr. McDonald gave him the cash after he told the businessman that he wanted gas money to return to Linstead. His next visit was in May 2019 at the same location. On the second occasion, the witness says Mr. McDonald showed him an exit route behind the supermarket where he could escape after completing the mission. He said Mr. McDonald took him to speak with a beautiful lady and indicated to him that she was the one who should be doused with acid. The witness said he then exited the supermarket and entered the parking lot where Mr. McDonald gave him $60,000 to purchase the acid. A few days after returning to St. Catherine, he said he went to Salt Factory in Spanish Town where one of his friends worked and told him that he wanted to purchase some black acid. He said his friend gave him a black bottle with a golden top containing the acid in exchange for some cash. The witness said about a week later in January 2020, he returned to Portland where he met Mr. McDonald in the parking lot and gave him the bottle. He said Beachy opened the bottle, tipped the substance onto his hand, grimaced, then smiled and said, "Right stuff." The witness said Mr. McDonald secured the substance and invited him to walk with him because he wanted to show him something. He said the businessman took him to a plaza nearby where Tonia was sitting under a hairdryer. While walking away, the witness said Mr. McDonald told him that he could douse Tonia right there and then. The witness said he asked Mr. McDonald to bring the bottle. Responding to the prosecution on whether he had completed the mission, the witness said, "No, the lady was too beautiful. I couldn't hurt her." But before leaving Portland, the witness said he contacted a cop who had arrested him in St. Mary in relation to a cow, brought him to the supermarket and showed him the beautiful lady.